Obviously, coming off an exciting win, I want to make sure I take the opportunity to thank our fans that made the trip, across the country, to that game. Obviously there's a ton of fans in the stands, which made it really special. But also, what made it special is seeing so much green. Be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our first Big Ten championship team in cross country. Awesome accomplishment by them, and then already off to a good start tonight with women's basketball. I know men's basketball is about to kick off, so excited for them. And I know we got a big volleyball match this week against Nebraska, so a lot of exciting things going on in the department here at Oregon, and certainly thrilled to be a part of it.
All right, open questions. Starting on the right with Chris.
Yeah, Dan, can we maybe get an update on Tez and how he's doing now?
It didn't take long. I thought it might be number one. I'm going to tell you the same thing I always tell you. As soon as they're ready to go, we'll have them out there. We're going to put player, safety first. Tez will be down, certainly right now in the near future, but I do anticipate us getting Tez back here soon. Same with Marcus. I think neither one of those injuries are as bad as maybe they appeared on the field. And I think we'll have those guys back, but I don't know when that looks like right now. But we'll do what we always do: take care of the players and what's in the best interest of them. And both those guys fighting to get back as soon as we can have them.
Right, Zach.
You guys punched in for a touchdown with the game already in hand with 25 seconds left. Just curious your mentality in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately they had a timeout. If they utilized the timeout, then there's the opportunity for them to stop it, and you're trying to assess, are they going to be in position to use one or not? And obviously, looking back at it, it's easy to say, okay, they probably weren't going to utilize one. They're going to let the clock tick out. But I'm not, at some point that could happen to us as well. I'll never be ashamed for us going to score a touchdown. It's our job to stop them. And I know I've got a ton of respect for Coach Moore and the job that he's done. He's been amazing every time I've got to interact with him. And, you could feel bad, but as a competitor, you want to go out there and do the best you can to score. And I'm sure there certainly were some Oregon fans who were excited that we did there too. It looks like James might have been one of those guys who was excited. I got your back, James.
For the record, I never wager on sports, but
good to hear.
I'd
say that's a safe decision all the time.
Thank you. With Tez down for the time being, just the outlook in terms of depth at the position, and with Pelham on 4 games, we've seen Jeremiah before, we've seen Juriana in limited capacity. Mentioned it, is that because of injury? Is Juriana in a better spot to contribute more, and how confident are you in whether it's Dylan or Jeremiah to step up in a bigger role?
Yeah, I'm confident we have a plan, right? And I'm confident that we've shown there's a lot of guys that can play winning football for us right now. Who that'll be come Saturday, I mean, I'll leave that for us to figure out in-house. But we've got a lot of guys that can play winning football for us, and there's going to be some guys that have stepped up like we've had all season. Obviously we lost Jordan Birch earlier in the season, had some guys step up and play big roles and help us there. There's plenty of guys that can help us and have played winning football on offense, and that's our job to create those opportunities for guys. And it's also their job in practice to create those opportunities. So there's going to be some more opportunities for guys. We'll see what it looks like as they get out there.
Back right, Aaron.
Yeah, just kind of building off of that, like you said, Dylan had a really good response to when he was asked about Trayshawn and his in development and growth since his mistake. But how have you kind of seen him take accountability in practice, kind of from that mistake in the Ohio State game until now to be able to contribute in a big-time game when Tez did go down?
Yeah, it's an everyday process for every single person on our team. We do good, bad, ugly when we go to the doctor. We did that this morning. One of the very first plays I got to show the team was the screen pass to Kenyon Sadiq, and you got to point out, Trayshawn Holden's effort blocking, right? And everyone wants to acknowledge some of the great pass, catches that he made, which were really impactful. But I was really proud of that performance, and then his ability, watching him in that play, he just blocked somebody's tail all the way out of bounds, and then turn around and get back and be able to play the next play. I think that's a great moment of growth for him. Also had, obviously an elite play on the scramble, big completion there at the end of the game to extend a drive. So proud of his performance and what he's been able to do, and also acknowledge the parts where in the game he wasn't right and he can grow and get better. So I thought he did what he needed to do for the team to have success. And when you have somebody goes down and there's other moving parts and you're playing a different position than maybe you practiced all week, I thought that was impressive just to be able to deal with the musical chairs that kind of exist there at wideout at time, and those guys be able to go out and execute.
Back left, Matt.
I haven't asked about Casper in a while. Is he going to be coming back and in the mix at receiver?
Yeah, I don't know that he will. And again, we'll always put the player first. He's trying his tail off to rehab his way back. He's been doing such a great job for us this year. I'm really proud of his growth. But if he's able to, fantastic. But I'm not anticipating that necessarily happening.
Left, Jared.
do you see from Maryland's offense, and specifically 10, their wide receiver, who I think has over 900 yards now?
Yeah, 10 and 1 are both really dynamic wideouts. They've really opened up in the passing game, top 10 in the nation, as a passing team. They create a lot of explosive plays. Coach Loxley does an unbelievable job there on offense, and Coach Gaddis of creating some, advantageous, matchups when it comes to their RPO game and their ability to get the ball in space to those guys. So they're all threats for big plays. They're explosive play threats consistently, and their quarterback's delivering the ball really well to them right now.
Left, James.
In Tuz's other role on punt return, we saw both Ryan back there for the one and obviously Evan thereafter. Will Evan be the answer going forward, Dan, or because the numbers start to get thin and who's sitting on 4 and how you manage that, will other guys get a look like Nico, who's done it before in his career? Will he get some reps at punt return now going forward?
Yeah, we'll take a look at multiple guys, but we practice it every single day in practice, and I think that's a tough position that we put Ryan in. He's fielded some really good ones this season. We saw him field one earlier this season and take a big hit. That's a tough situation to put a freshman in there, and I think it's a growth moment for him. But we'll continue to see what we evaluate in practice, and then as coaches, I think there's some challenges there for us to make it more challenging for those guys when they do catch the ball. What's it look like after that, right? And I think that's somewhere for us to grow. But we'll evaluate it at practice, and you guys will see it when it comes to fruition on Saturdays.
Front right, Zach.
X's and O's aside, is it strange at all to prepare for a conference opponent that you literally have no experience or no history with?
Not really.
In the back, Aaron.
I feel like a big focus for your defense and a lot of teams this season, they've said that they want to stop the rush. When you're focusing on a team that is a little bit more advanced in the pass game, like how do you switch that focus week to week? And maybe what are some things that you're focused on when it comes to a team that is really successful in the pass game specifically?
Yeah, you always want to take away, a team's strength, and I think that sometimes it can seem like it's just being regurgitated, like this is what it's going to take to win the game. But we always spend a lot of time evaluating what does it take to have success against a team. So the best defenses in college football consistently are always good at stopping the run, right? That's teams that win winning football games are always good at running the ball and stopping the run. So that's an important trait. But certainly you want to be able to take away a team's strength.
Back left, Matt.
The TV broadcast said during the game that they felt like your secondary was maybe the best in the country. I'm not going to ask you to agree or disagree unless you want to, but just why do you feel like this group is so good and they've collectively gelled quickly as so many of them are transfer portal guys?
Yeah, ultimately I think our players have each other's back, right? And there's times where again, it's advantageous for the defensive backs because we're doing more with less up front. And then on the other end, we've been aggressive at times and we're doing more up front, which means they have to be able to do it, but hopefully for less time in the back end. And those guys have done really good playing off each other, understanding situations, and we'll continue to get challenges as the year goes on, but they've done a good job of executing.
Front left, James.
What stands out about Billy Edwards and what he's done for them at quarterback for a guy who's the first year starting capacity to be third in the conference in passing?
Yeah, just that. I mean, he's extremely efficient. He knows where to put the ball and when to put the ball there. I think they've done a good job of coaching him up. Where's the extra hat and how can I take advantage of advantage throws when those opportunities exist? And he's been really accurate at doing that.
Jared on the left.
Kavika came in for Marcus at the end of the game against Michigan. Is he planning on starting if Harper can't go, or will it kind of be decided this week in practice?
Yeah, it's decided every week for every position on the field in practice each week. But certainly we're going to continue to have competition. But Kavika's proven to have that opportunity and that role for us throughout the season. We'll continue to assess it this week through practice.
Back left, Matt.
With Jalil and Gary and Dave, do you anticipate them being available at any point this season, or is that kind of one that down the road just doesn't look like it?
Yeah, I do.
Back right, Aaron.
We're about 1 month out from early National Signing Day. I know that date was kind of pushed up, but how crucial kind of will these next home games be for recruiting with that signing day being pushed up? And what is your opinion of the signing day being pushed up and how it may challenge you, especially when you're focused on winning out a season?
Yeah, great question. Recruiting always matters, right? And it's something you can't just do sometimes. You got to do it all the time. You got to do it every day. So I think every single game, regardless of home or away, impacts our ability to have success when it comes to bringing in great players. I think players across the country right now see that what we're able to do and how our players are performing, and know that they want to be a part of that. If they want to challenge, if they want to compete for a team that's competing to win, that we're going to put them in position to be able to do that, and our guys being able to have success. So it certainly always matters, and really that's just part of the landscape of college football, of juggling the different times that exist when it comes to signing days, when it comes to being able to be on the road recruiting. All those things are a challenge, but we want to be the team that can manage that the best.
Front left, James.
Loxley's connection to Tosh obviously is there, and you coached with Azar back in the day. When did you first cross paths with Lox, though, Dan? Because you were in Tuscaloosa and he was back in Maryland at that time. So how did you first cross paths with him through the tree?
Yeah, I've obviously known him through college athletics and watched what he's been able to do a little bit more from afar. And then we really bumped into each other at the Broyles Award. I think it was the first time I was there at the Broyles Award, and I've stayed connected. Obviously, I've got to link up with him a couple times at Big Ten meetings, and I think he's always been a guy that presents challenges when you talk about who are guys that are hard to defend. I think he's always done a really good job of that in college football.
Last question, James.
Dan, coaches are always very vague and maybe even deceptive regarding injuries, so you're in elite company there. But how much, if at all, does what happened to Florida State last year maybe change how you approach that in disclosure over the next month? Because, hey, what if somebody's out and they don't know, and now your seeding is impacted because we don't know what this team looks like without its number one player at whatever position? Does what happened last year change your outlook and how you go about disclosing injury information over the next month?
Yeah, I never really disclosed anything, so I'll continue probably not to do that. But I haven't thought about it that deep. I was just a PE major, man. I've never thought about that far down the road.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.